Mayor Suarez. Today, we are announcing that we are potentially the first city in America that is providing rental and utility assistance programs through community development block grants that we're being given specifically to address the impacts of COVID-19 in our city. Beginning on May 4th, we will be taking applications through a website that we will be creating specifically for this. Eligible residents who are at 60% of the area median income or below can apply for this assistance. They can get up to $1,500 of rent assistance and or utility assistance that will be paid directly to the landlord and or the utility company. We should be able to disperse funds as quickly as by the middle of May. So we should be in time to make the May 1st payments before any late fees occur. This is the first of its kind, potentially in the United States. We couldn't find any other city in Florida or in the United States that was doing something similar. Obviously, people are suffering tremendously at this particular moment. And the city of Miami is stepping up through our Miami Helps program to help people who are in the direst of need. We're coupling this with, of course, the microloan and small business subsidies that we approved yesterday as a commission, which is up to $1 million. The total program of rent and utility subsidy is $2.2 million, and that will be approved hopefully by special meeting that will be happening next week. I want to thank the commissioners for their support of both these programs. Both programs are unique. They serve a population that is in dire need and desperate need of help. In the case of small businesses, they fill a gap that is not met by the PPP program and or supplement the PPP program, which only obviously pays for payroll costs. And so we are urging our residents who want more information on this program to call 305-416-2080, 305-416-2080, or they can email communitydevelopment@miamigov.com, communitydevelopment@miamigov.com. Obviously, yesterday we passed the two programs, one of which is a commercial establishment, a small business grant, which is for businesses with 5 employees or less that can receive a grant up to $10,000 that will pay a variety of costs, including rent. Those businesses are businesses that have not received PPP funding can apply for that grant. The other one is a small business loan that is forgivable potentially if one job is created. Those can pay for costs that are not included in the PPP, but for those people who have potentially received PPP funding. And so that will be supplemental to the PPP. And if you create one job for the remainder of the year, then that up to $20,000 loan is forgivable. That was passed yesterday by the City Commission. But today we're announcing an individual rental and utility assistance program, again, potentially the first of its kind in the nation.
Okay, so we're going to start with some questions. Ana Cuervo, if you want to start.
You want me to say it in Spanish first?
Yes.
You're on mute, Ana.
Okay.
You want me to say it in Spanish first?
Yes, please. Can you say it in Spanish and then we go with the questions?
Hoy estamos anunciando un programa que es único en la nación, que es para ayudar a individuales. Ayer la comisión aprobó un programa para ayudar a los comerciantes pequeños con un subsidio y con un préstamo que se puede perdonar. Hoy anunciamos que por la primera vez, posiblemente de cualquier ciudad en toda la nación, vamos a estar dando asistencia para pagar la renta y los gastos de electricidad, de teléfono en una economía personal, privada. Ahí tenemos un gráfico. Pero básicamente, si eres un residente que tiene 60% de lo que es de los ingresos del promedio de nuestra comunidad o menos, calificas para recibir hasta $1,500 de asistencia en pagar su renta o sus gastos de electricidad, sus gastos de teléfono. Estos pagos van a ir directamente a o el dueño de la propiedad o van a ir directamente a la compañía de electricidad o la compañía de teléfono. También las aplicaciones van a estar listas el 4 de mayo y vamos a establecer una página de web específicamente para este programa. Las personas van a recibir la asistencia, si Dios quiere, en 10 días después de la aplicación. Así que van a estar en tiempo para poder hacer el pago del 1 de mayo, que obviamente tiene a muchas personas muy preocupados. Nosotros somos la única ciudad, pensamos, en la nación a base de lo que nosotros hemos buscado. Somos la única ciudad en la nación que está dando este tipo de ayuda, asistencia a personas en este momento. Obviamente tiene que haber perdido su trabajo a base de la enfermedad de COVID-19 y eso es parte de lo que es la criteria para recibir la ayuda. Nosotros estamos muy orgullosos de que la Comisión de Miami, conjunto con mi alcaldía, estamos haciendo todo lo posible, desde dar comidas, a dar asistencia a pequeños negocios, en este momento a dar asistencia a individuales que no pueden pagar su renta o sus gastos, que es una de las más grandes necesidades que tenemos en este momento.
Perfecto. Now we go with the questions. Ana Cuervo, Telemundo.
You're on mute.
You're muted.
¿Por qué estoy muted?
Now you're good.
Now I'm good? Okay. Cuando habla de individuales, ¿pero son dueños de pequeños negocios o pueden ser residentes de la ciudad?
Lo que estamos anunciando hoy es para los residentes de la ciudad individuales. Esto es para ayudarlos a ellos con sus rentas en sus hogares, para los arrendamientos, para los gastos como la electricidad, gastos como teléfono, etcétera. Así que solo para calificar tiene que tener ingresos que son menos del 60% de lo que es el promedio de ingresos en nuestra comunidad y tienen que aplicar el 4 de mayo, es el primer día de aplicar y pues puede calificar hasta $1,500 de ayuda para esos gastos.
Y sobre el reportaje que adelanté ayer, hay tantos pequeños negocios sufriendo pérdidas que son astronómicas. ¿Cuántos fondos federales tienen disponibles para este programa y cómo seleccionan a qué negocio van a asistir si no hay suficiente para todos?
Nosotros estamos otorgando $1 millón para esos dos programas que nosotros anunciamos ayer. El de hoy, que es asistencia a los individuales, a las personas que necesitan pagar su renta, pagar los gastos de su hogar. Estamos otorgando $2.2 millones, si Dios quiere, en una sesión especial de la comisión la semana que viene. Así que quiero darle las gracias de nuevo a los comisionados que obviamente aprobaron el plan de asistencia a los pequeños negocios ayer y si Dios quiere aprueban lo que va a ser de una forma sesión especial esta asistencia a individuales que están necesitados en este momento.
¿Y se van a asistir hasta que se acabe el dinero?
Sí, y va a ser como el otro programa, los primeros que aplican van a tener preferencias.
Gracias, alcalde.
Preguntar.
Sí, María Alesia.
¿Cómo está, alcalde? Buenos días.
Bien, gracias.
Quería preguntarle si hay, ya con la información que dimos ayer del programa de loans de ese $1 millón y también de las subvenciones que van a dar, ¿tienen contemplado que haya otro dinero más por ahí de la ciudad, del presupuesto de la ciudad? Porque vimos que esto puede ayudar a 100 empresas y según datos de ustedes mismos hay 35,000 pequeñas empresas en Miami. Entonces, entiendo que hay mucha necesidad y que ustedes no tienen una varita mágica, pero parece muy poco, ¿no? Entonces, no sé si tienen contemplado otros fondos.
Nosotros empezamos en lo que es la distribución de comida con $2 millones. Estamos en este programa de lo que es la ayuda a la asistencia a los pequeños negocios de $1 millón. Y este otro programa que estamos anunciando hoy para las familias individuales es de $2.2 millones. Cuando uno hace la matemática de que cada familia puede recibir $1,500 de asistencia, vamos a ayudar a muchísimas familias. Entendiendo que cuando hicimos el subsidio para las rentas de las personas mayores, pensábamos que solo iba a ayudar a 800 personas y pensábamos que eso no era suficiente. Lo que sucedió en ese caso es que 1,200 aplicaron, solo 1,000 eran de la ciudad de Miami, y cuando aplicamos los requisitos al programa, calificaron 645, o sea, calificaron menos personas de lo que teníamos disponible para ayudar. Así que pudimos ayudar 100% de las personas que aplicaron. Nosotros no sabemos exactamente cuántos de esos negocios necesitan ayuda, pero lo que estamos haciendo es ofreciendo de punto de vista inmediato, y somos la única ciudad que lo está haciendo, de lo que nosotros tenemos entendido, posiblemente en la nación, que está ayudando de esta manera. Así que estamos siendo proactivos con los fondos federales que recibimos nosotros, activándolos para ayudar a pequeños negociantes y residentes que son los más necesitados en este momento.
Y otra cosita, en cuanto a los criterios para la ayuda de individuales para pagar la renta que está anunciando hoy, dijo, tiene que haber perdido su trabajo por causa del COVID-19. ¿Cómo se va a comprobar eso? Y si nos puede dar detalles de los criterios para decírselos hacia la gente bien, que todo el mundo va a querer aplicar a esto.
Seguro. Tienes que vivir en la ciudad de Miami, obviamente. Tienes que ganar menos del 60% de lo que es el promedio de ingresos del área. Y tienes que comprobar que uno perdió su trabajo a través del COVID-19. Es decir, tener un tipo de evidencia de que la razón por cual te despidieron era por COVID-19. Eso es bastante fácil comprobar. Nosotros recibimos, por ejemplo, todos los días, yo recibo como alcalde, como parte de lo que es la ley de empleo federal, avisos de los personas que han perdido su trabajo a través de esta crisis. Así que ellos pueden traer eso como evidencia, y es posible que nosotros tenemos esa evidencia ya en nuestra posesión.
Muchas gracias, María Alicia. We go with Joey Flechas from Miami Herald.
Thank you. Is there going to be a way for residents to access physical applications if web access is not feasible for them, especially considering that this is meant to assist in that area?
Absolutely. Joey, of course. What we'll do is we will make those applications available like we have with the unemployment applications at our net office, understanding that we're in a new dynamic where offices, physical offices are very restricted. Our MRC, for example, is closed. So we will announce as we approach the May 4th date where the physical locations will be, that we will have those applications available physically. Because I agree with you that, we're living in a new world where even though for many technology is ubiquitous, for others it's not. And then whereas before we had our in our park centers open with computer labs, we obviously have less ability to give people computer access as well. So we will get you all those details.
And by which date did you say that you anticipate these disbursements to be available?
So we anticipate that the application beginning date will be May 4th. And we've been told that the money will be available 10 days after that. So we're hoping May 14th, which should put you pretty much within the range of making the May payment. And it will go directly, the money will not go to the individual, it'll go to the landlord or to the utility company directly.
And this is going to be distributed, it's 2.2 million you said is the allocation until you run out?
Yep. First come, first serve, unless modified by the commission. Obviously the commission has the right when they approve it next week, hopefully, to make whatever modifications they may see fit, and of course I support that.
So this has to be approved by commission next week in a special meeting before implementation, right?
That's right. Just like we did with the small business loan program. This required a special waiver from HUD that we are applying for, so that we can use the money for this purpose. As far as we know, we're the only city in the country that is doing this. We did some research on it. We couldn't find anybody. It doesn't mean there's not somebody else doing it. But we were not able to find anyone that's doing this. So it's first of its kind.
And you just mentioned around 640 people who qualify for the senior rental assistance program that you budgeted.
Yep.
Does being in that program preclude you from seeking assistance here?
I will look into that specifically. Remember that is sort of a supplemental rental assistance, which is about up to a limit of $100.
Right.
This
right.
is for people that have lost their jobs from COVID-19. So if you happen to be a senior who's getting that subsidy, but you lost your job from COVID and you can't pay the rent, that $100 subsidy is not gonna pay the rent for you. So I presume that you would still be eligible. I don't think that would disqualify you if you fit the other criteria.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joey. Now we'll go with Cristina Vasquez, WPLG.
Boomer.
Good morning. Can you explain a little bit more about the funding mechanism, these community block grants, and what department that comes from the federal budgets and how it is or is not different from the federal money already allocated through the CARES Act, kind of where that money's coming from?
So this was a community development block money that was given to us directly from the federal government. I'm not sure if it came from the CARES Act or not. We can check that. I can tell you that it is different from the monies that have been allocated to states and cities, $150 billion, $8.3 billion of which is going to the state. And those are for costs related to COVID-19 that cities have incurred. That has to do with like testing, that has to do with manpower and overtime and things of that nature. This is a CDBG allocation that is separate and apart from our regular CDBG allocation that we get on an annual basis. And we qualified for $3.2 million that we got directly from the federal government. It was up to us to decide how we were going to spend it. And so I want to thank the administration, our manager for following this idea. I want to thank the commission for acting swiftly on the small business loans, and hopefully we'll take action next week on this individual rental assistance program. Follow up.
Just to reiterate the exchange you had with Joey from the Miami Herald, so just to be clear, this is something that needs commission, a vote and approval. You think you're going to get the money on May 4th, making it available about May 14th.
Right. So what happens is under our emergency authority, just like with the meals program, we have the ability, the manager has the ability to start spending as soon as we have the money available, but we have to still go back to the commission and get ratification just like we did with the small business program. So we're going to be calling a special meeting for next week. All the commissioners have been informed, and hopefully we'll be able to get it passed so we can get this assistance immediately to make the May payment. The big concern we had is, we are now into May, and every time we cross a month, the need becomes more and more prevalent. We're doing, farm shares. I've done 4 farm shares this week alone. We obviously have the feeding program that's going and is helping those in need. But one of the things that I'm concerned about, and I said this on the radio this morning, is we don't want, to the extent that we can control it, we would prefer not to have the economic crisis that we're in driving our decisions on health. So we don't want to be making decisions on opening up based on the desperation that people are feeling because they can't pay their bills and they can't meet their basic necessities. In the city of Miami, we want to do everything we can to ensure that people maintain their quality of life so that we can be free to make decisions on scientific and health reasons and not economic.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Christina. Now we go with Melissa.
Hi, Mayor. How are you?
Hey, Melissa. How are you?
Good, good. Just a quick question. The $1,500, will that be individual or per household? Meaning, if 2 people did lose their jobs in the house, will they be receiving $3,000 or will it just be $1,500?
My understanding is that's per household. We'll check that to be certain, but I think that's a per household limitation because remember that it also, when you think about 60% or less area median income and $1,500, that amount, you're talking about rent plus expenses. And so my understanding is that when you look at the 60% or AMI numbers or below, the rent is probably in the 800 to 1,000 range. And then, you have utilities on top of that. So I don't think you would be able to get 2 of those payments.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Melissa. And we also have with us a student, a high school student. His name is Chris Daniel Gomez. Chris, do you want to make a question?
Yeah, if you don't mind. Mayor, you've been talking about how this is the first thing in any state, in any city. Why did you and the commission decide to take this unprecedented action?
Chris, from the very beginning, I saw that this crisis could exacerbate an issue related to the most basic necessity that people have, which is the necessity to eat. If you shut down an entire economy and you have essentially a lot of these component parts still operating, you still have to make all these payments. You realize very quickly that unless people have a tremendous amount of savings, they're going to struggle to pay their rent. They're going to struggle to pay their basics. And so we felt in an urban city like ours that it's imperative for us to do everything we can at the most basic level to help people get by and not affect their quality of life while they're suffering through this health crisis. And the second part was we didn't want our decisions in the city to be driven by economic decisions per se, because what happens is if we open up too quickly or haphazardly, then what can happen is we have to close down again. Understanding that I was case number 2 in all of Dade County, we now have over 10,000 cases. And so the concern is that if we open up too quickly, we have to be required to close back up if COVID-19 starts to spread again and we have a second wave.
So real quick, if you don't mind, I wanted to reiterate, how is this any different than the federal funds? I mean, you said that you need a special thing from HUD. How's this any different than the money that everyone's getting from PPP?
So the PPP program is a payroll protection program, and what that does is that it pays payroll. It's a payroll loan for a certain period of time. The micro enterprise and the small business loan are, first of all, the micro enterprise, you cannot get it if you're getting the payroll protection plan, right? You're not eligible for it. But the other thing is that it pays expenses that the payroll protection program does not pay, like rent, right? The payroll protection program doesn't pay rent. In the second program, which is the small business loan program, which is givable, that can be received even though you're getting a protection plan, because you can pay costs that are different from the payroll protection plan, like rent. So that's where they're a little bit different. And the payroll protection plan does not do anything to help individuals with their rent and with their utilities. So none of the programs that we've seen right now actually help individuals pay their rent and pay their utilities. So this is the first program that even does that, and it's the first city that does it.
Una preguntita, Soledad, ¿puedo hacer una última pregunta? Alcalde, hoy, bueno, el gobernador está recibiendo propuestas de todos los condados sobre posibilidad de reapertura de las ciudades. En cuanto a la ciudad de Miami, ¿cómo están trabajando ustedes en eso? ¿Qué puede adelantarnos y qué está concibiendo sobre todo en el tema de espacios públicos, que es lo que ha adelantado también el alcalde del condado? ¿Qué puede decirnos al respecto?
Nosotros estamos consultando con varios expertos, pero en particular hemos hablado esta semana con el Departamento de Salud del Estado de la Florida para certificar si nosotros hemos llegado a lo que la gente famosamente le llaman la fase número 1. La fase número 1 es cuando se está disminuyendo los casos nuevos de infección por 14 días, tanto como gente que están quejándose de síntomas de la infección por 14 días, y también requiere un análisis de la capacidad de los hospitales. Hasta este momento el Departamento de Salud no nos ha certificado que hemos llegado a esa fase número 1, ni nos han indicado si nos van a certificar. Así que estamos trabajando conjunto con ellos para ver cuándo ellos lo hacen, y yo creo que para la semana que viene vamos a destacar nuestro propio plan, ya cuando llegamos a esa fase, cuáles son los pasos que nosotros vamos a tomar, qué vamos a abrir, en qué momento, con qué restricciones.
Ana Cuervo tiene una pregunta también, ¿verdad?
Sí, era del seguimiento a lo que preguntó mi colega de Univisión. ¿Está trabajando la ciudad de Miami en algún aspecto con el gobierno estatal en los planes de reapertura? El gobernador ha dicho que va a ser distinto para nuestra zona, pero ¿en alguna forma está trabajando? ¿El gobierno estatal lo está apoyando en sus planes?
Como expliqué, nosotros hablamos hoy el lunes con el Departamento de Salud, así que estamos en constante comunicación con los expertos del estado de la Florida, particularmente porque ellos tienen la información, ellos tienen los datos, y también ellos tienen los expertos médicos que pueden analizar esa información a darnos a nosotros consejos para tomar nuestras decisiones. Pero yo creo que el gobernador ha sido muy claro desde el primer momento que él va a dejar a las municipalidades a tomar sus propias decisiones, a decidir si ellos quieren ser más restrictivos con las decisiones para reapertura.
Thank you very much to everyone. Is there anybody who has another question?
I just want to make one final comment that the Miami Herald reported on yesterday or today, and I think it's important for you all to recognize that not only are we meeting the basic needs through our feeding programs, through our microloans for small businesses, and now through helping individuals with rent and utilities, but I think it's important for us to mention the great work of our police department, being led by George Colina, who now has COVID-19. Miami Herald reported that there are a tremendous amount of cities where crime and violent crime have gone up, including Miami-Dade County. And the city of Miami not only is going down after record years, my first year as mayor, 51-year low, my second year, 55-year low in murders. This year, we're even lower than those years, and we went almost 7 weeks and 6 days, almost 8 weeks without a homicide, without a murder in our city, which is very close to a record from 1967, where we went 9 weeks and 3 days. So I think it's really, really important for us to recognize that throughout this time, when violent crime is going up in the county and in other parts of the country and other big cities, our police department is being incredibly well led, and our police officers are doing a phenomenal job of breaking records and setting records of keeping Miami as safe historically as it's ever been.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Do you want to say that in Spanish? Yes.
I don't know, Ana, do you guys need that or it's fine? Okay. Yo creo que es importante notar el trabajo del jefe de policía, Jorge Colina, y sus oficiales, los policías de nuestra comunidad, que hemos llegado a un nivel de récord cuando se está aumentando los homicidios en el condado de Miami-Dade, en otras grandes ciudades en la nación, que en la ciudad de Miami, en donde nosotros los últimos 2 años tuvimos un nivel de incidencia de homicidios más bajo en 51 años y después en 54 años, que tuvimos casi 8 semanas sin un homicidio en la ciudad de Miami. Eso es casi un récord desde los 1960 y es en comparación con otras municipalidades grandes en los Estados Unidos, en cual se está aumentando increíblemente ese crimen violento, y también en nuestro propio condado.
Thank you, everyone. Nobody else has any question? Okay, thank you very much. You will all be receiving a press release with more information about what the mayor announced, and keep posted with our social media accounts because we are going to be releasing more information.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone.